So everyone, what is going on? We're back here at the Unblinded Real Raw Sales Roleplay. And today's interesting. Why? Because both of the gentlemen that are going to be going on, we're going to introduce them soon, have the word influence and are doing amazing things in the world of influencing other human beings. And today, we're going to go like head to head on having an influence off. So this is exciting. I am pumped. The energy is here. We've been talking about hair. We've been talking about weddings. We've been talking about like a ton of different dynamics, and the energy is hot. So Sean, what's up with you, sir, as you are stepping out of the green room and lights, camera, and action is upon us?
Yeah, so what is most present for me right now is gratitude for these amazing people being here. So thank you. And second most present for me, Fernando, we had a hair issue yesterday. So I hadn't cut the hair in a long time, and we hit the wrong blade length. And like, I think there's a spot here that's really a problem. So we're going to deal with that for about 2 weeks until it grows in. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding that we have a corona hair problem going off the next 2 weeks, since there's no place to get your hair cut in New Jersey other than in your bathtub. So back to you, Fernando. What's happening?
All right, so let's kick it in. Let me just give me 1 second here. So let's introduce like who we're rocking out with today. So today we have some really rock star contestants. We're going to start off with Roberto Monaco, who is a public speaking consultant, professional speaker, storyteller, and influence specialist. Chief Presentation Officer at InfluenceOlogy, love that word, brother, has been a full-time speaker, coach, and trainer since 2002 and has conducted more than 4,500 presentations in America, Canada, Mexico, England, Brazil, and Puerto Rico. Roberto Monaco, welcome to be here, brother.
I'm so happy to be here. It's going to be fun. Have a good time.
That's some rock star stuff. So Roberto, what brought you into the world of influence? This is, I'm so thankful for you to be here.
Oh, we worked for Tony Robbins back in 2002, it was just eye-opening to see what a man with a mission, with passion, with authenticity, with charisma can do. So I was always fascinated because from Brazil, some of you notice I have a thick accent, so English is my third language. We speak Portuguese in Brazil, then in Spanish. So I always had a hard time communicating my ideas clearly. I was learning the language. So I said, you know what, that's going to be a easier path if I study influence. So I decided to devote my life to it because in the end of the day, the way I see influence is about 3 levels. Influence yourself into action every single day. Then influence one-on-one, having through conversations. And then if you want to create a huge impact, it's about influence one-to-many, one person to many. So that's what I focus on. Today I have a company called, I have 2 companies, one InfluenceOlogy and one is called Chiro Speaking Company. And it's 80-20, 80% for chiropractors that I do work and 20% for business executives.
Oh, Roberto, amazing. 4,500 presentations, brother. And this may be 4,501, and I'm super proud and thankful to have you here. And quick question, what was your first Tony Robbins event back in the day? And did you ever experience the competitive edge?
No. I experienced UPW.
Gotcha.
We were, my brother Eli, actually, and I, we were both selling Unleash the Power Within. So, that's primarily what we are doing, UPW, Dated Destiny, but primarily was UPW.
So my first, real quick, and we'll move it forward, my first Tony event was in 1998. It was either late 97 or early 98. I don't have that ticket. I have my second event ticket. And it was a program he stopped doing right around 2001 or 2 called The Competitive Edge. And so we share that Tony Robbins introduced us both to the world of influence. So thank you for being here. I feel that kindred connection with you.
I am so excited to be here amongst powerhouses, and to learn and to grow. So I'm super excited to be here.
Fantastic, brother. And Fernando, we have like literally a brother. What's up?
Yeah, we have Eli Wilde. That must have been an awesome name to have in college, by the way. He helps coaches and consultants with sales and systems to have more of an impact. Influencer, keynote speaker, and coach. He advises and consults with Fortune 500 companies, executives, managers, sales professionals in the areas of peak performance, leadership, organizational behavior, and psychology of achievement in sales. He is also an entrepreneur of Wilde Influence and a brother. So Eli Wilde, happy to have you here.
Thanks, man. And my original name is Wilde. This is like my stage name. I acted for a little bit too. I was with Tony. I was an actor, worked with Tony, got back in acting, and then kind of got back involved in this. So my stage name is Wilde, but real name is Wilde.
Oh my God.
Right on.
So Eli, it's a pleasure and an honor. And brother, where are you calling in from today?
I'm just about 20 minutes from Tony, just right down the street. I'm just like north of Boca Raton, and he's just up in West Palm, just right around there.
Extraordinary. So, and what brought you to Tony World originally?
It's interesting. I just watched Competitive Edge. Roberto, Nurika, she actually introduced Tony at this one. I have a video from forever ago, but I was like an actor back, early 2000s, and found myself in LA kind of lost and desolate. And I got into reading books on self-development, picked up an NLP book, and I met a dude and he says, well, you should check out Tony Robbins. And I said, who's Tony Robbins? Next thing I know, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, jumping up and down. I saw him at a Learning Annex event with about 40,000 people.
Wow.
And he was supposed to speak for, like 2 hours. And of course he spoke for 4.5. And at the end of the day, he said, if you got anything out of these 4 hours, spend 4 days with me, I'll change your life or give you your fucking money back. And he was so intense and so certain. I was like, man, I used my rent money and I signed up. And I got indoctrinated in that process. And they put me through a bit of a interview process. And the final person I had to interview with was Mr. Roberto Monaco right here, one of my brothers and mentors who I love dearly. So this is an honor to be here with you. And I've heard amazing things about you. There's the dude that talks about you, running with the bulls and swimming with sharks. And, of course, our friend Scott Humphrey has said really amazing things about you too. And Jared, so I'm excited to meet you.
Oh, brother, I am immensely thankful. And I share this, that I'm going to be down for a Lions event at Tony's in July, which I still think is going to happen. So if you're around and down there, I'd love to connect. I have an office for a law firm in Boca as well. So I'm really honored to have you here. And I love the shared history, and I'd love to talk. So
awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be seeing Scott. Thaddeus, I just talked to yesterday. He's Platinum Lion as well. He's like just up in Miami right now. So yeah, and so is Oren Dagan. We talk like every day. He's in Aventura right now, Hollandale Beach. So I would love to connect.
Yeah, Thaddeus. I mean, all these guys are man. Love Oren, send my best. He runs trips to Israel. Thaddeus speaks on stages of thousands and thousands in Germany. And
I trained him. I trained him on what to say for his last event. I flew to Germany and we used spiral dynamics. We used the first 5 phases of it, like feeling safe. Like we basically, and one of the things I've done, I've taken a lot of Tony's content, 7 steps for creating lasting change, the triad. So you'll get an experience of it today. All those things that he does, 6 human needs, I put it inside the sales context, and I got to role play with Tony not too long ago. And so similar to what Roberto talked about, these 3 levels of influence, I teach there's 4. One is how you influence yourself. And Tony's whole thing is about your state. So you're going to see me systematically use certain questions, direct somebody's focus, reframe meaning, and shift their emotions over and over again to put them in what we call buying pocket. And so I use a lot of Tony's technology for it. And that's kind of what I teach. And so I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Amazing. And I am so excited. And I'm not sure if you have the full context, but what we do from here is we're building influence offs to name the most influentially skilled person, not measured by followers online. So like there's advancement from here if you guys choose to decide against other incredible people of influence skills. And we're trying to demonstrate here through the Real Raw that influence is a superpower when done with integrity and used appropriately. And this is all about influencers influencing influencers like Tony, like yourselves, to merge ecosystems to make the world an even greater place. So that's what we're standing for. So thank you for being here today, Eli.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and Fernando, like as if that was like not enough, like this is incredible. We have some other remarkable people here today.
We do, and our judges are definitely not lacking in stellar accomplishment. We have Jason Smith. He's a family officer partner at Carrington Group. His passion is helping people translate their business success into meaningful impacts on their families, communities, and personal achievements. We got Jason Smith.
Jason, brother, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, excited to participate. Thank you.
Yeah, and Jason, where are you coming from today?
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Very cool. Might you know David Gonzalez?
No, doesn't sound familiar. Steve Gallegos is who brought me to the table here.
So whenever I hear Austin, Texas, I immediately associate to David Gonzalez. He's a great friend of the show. So thank you, Pete, and thank you for being here today, Jason.
Yeah, excited.
Hey, just out of curiosity, what did he tell you this all was? Like, what were you doing here?
Well, he didn't say much, but I trust him, and we've developed an amazing friendship. And when he said that there was a contest to bring people together to provide an outlet to show how influence and opportunity can be created in a more authentic manner rather than the superficial manner that we've seen take hold on, Instagram likes and Facebook posts. He said, no, these are real people having a real impact in the world, and it's something you want to at least have a seat at the table to see happen.
Yeah, well, Jason, thank you for that. And Pete's dialed in. Just quickly, I graduated, I'm blind. I don't know if you know that. Other people, a lot of these folks do, some don't. And what I learned, I was going blind. I knew it since I was 17, had hoped to play professional baseball. My eyesight, I was captain of the Columbia University baseball team in '92. That stopped my progression. I went on to law school, and I thought it was the same as athletics once you came out and worked in the professional world. And I quickly learned that it wasn't. And it wasn't about following the lead of the people there as mentors. And I thought they'd be very much like my incredible high school athletic coaches who I'm close to this day. And they weren't bad people, but they were much more concerned with their own acceleration and development. And they wanted me to do work and learn that the people who had more abundance financially, time-wise, and magically in their life were people who had the ability to generate relationships and have those things add value and have them things turn into something. I had no optics on this. I went to an Ivy League undergrad, graduated law school with honors, and nobody told me anything about this. So I was going to quit the law, become a high school teacher, a baseball and football coach, but I had $100,000 of debt from law school. I had no money. I was, in a really tight spot. My dream job, but I was living in a small apartment, law school debt, and I found the work of Tony Robbins. And I started my own law firm. I had 40 people working for me 2 years later in the toughest legal job market in US history. And I couldn't believe that it wasn't that easy. I wanted to quit every day for the first year, that it was that assured. And I was like, I want to go teach people this someday. So I still have a law firm. I have 125 people that work there, but I also have Unblinded, which is a company to demonstrate how this can be unlocked for people. So thank you for being here and participating in the process.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So Fernando, we have two other signed gentlemen.
Yes, we have Dr. William Beaver. He's a world-class orthodontist and dentofacial orthopedist. I'm so glad I said that correctly. A true Renaissance man. Dr. B is a world traveler, charity benefit auctioneer, author, international lecturer, and contrarian. Dr. B enjoys cooking, skiing, boating, hiking, and biking. Is located in suburbia of Dallas. This sounds like a Match.com ad, but welcome, Dr. William Beaver.
Will, I don't know what is going on, but thank you for being here. We have such a Texas bias, and it's not coming from any 1, 2, or 3 sources. It's like every day is like Texas Day on The Real Raw. So welcome, Will.
Happy to be here, Sean. Well, they say things are bigger and better in Texas. We just want to prove it. That's all.
That's it. And so, Will, a huge fan of you and what you're up to in the world. What is a contrarian? Help me with that.
Well, I like to get involved in conversations very much like a lawyer would, and listen to what people have to say and then take an opposite view. Awesome. And try and get people to think outside of the box and outside the realm of what they normally do. And by doing that, it opens people up to a different mindset and a different way of thinking. So being a judge on a panelist, or panelist and judge in a case like this is right up my alley.
Awesome. So with that said, what is your perspective on Corona? So what position say you about Corona?
Kind of how much time have we got?
Hey, you're 30 second. Where are we? What are we missing, and where are we misguided, if at all, through the media, politics, the average perspective of an American about Corona? What would you say is off about that, if anything?
From the word go, Sean, and we actually talked about this at Day with Destiny in December. Not you, but other plats. Coronavirus is a bad flu. And for the people who are most affected by it, it's a very bad flu. But guess what? influenza is a bad flu. Every flu is bad. And everyone who's at risk, whether it's a mild flu or a H1N1 type flu, you got to be careful and you got to be protected. I think from the word go that this virus has been way overplayed, way overstated, way overdone for political means. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are going to get hurt by this when not a lot of people would have gotten hurt by this.
Well, brother, I had a feeling that's what you might share. So thank you for bringing the perspective to the real raw and opening up some thought processes. And
all about mindset, Sean. It's all about mindset. If someone says you're going to get coronavirus and you're going to die, you're going to die. But I know that if I get it, I'm going to thrive. I'll survive and thrive.
Love it, brother. And I know that's what you bring to the world through your authorship, your leadership, your training. And thank you for being here.
You bet.
All right, awesome. And last and certainly not least, Fernando, although this is like our first day that we have the absence of women on like the Real Raw an incredibly long time. So I don't know how we had this incredible assembly of like male generated energy, but cool, like, here we go. So,
all good because we have Hala Jaludi as our role player. So
Hala, you're the role player today.
And Zeus energy is present.
So I apologize, Hala, and I'm super fired up. But Hala, you have more Zeus energy potentially than everybody here combined. So like, let's rock and roll, Hala. We'll come back to you.
Let's rock and roll.
Yes.
Yes. And our final judge is Mr. Chris Cavalli, who is also a partner at Calighi Law, exclusively practiced family law for 23 years. And he's a certified matrimonial attorney, family law mediator, and a super lawyer.
Chris Cavalli, what's up, brother?
All right. How you doing, Sean?
All right. And Chris Cavalli, very simply, is the most understated silent assassin attorney designed to create authentic efficiency in outcomes for people. So he's everything that an attorney in the family law space should be, putting family first, his client first, and disrupting nonsense and insanity with an incredible and impeccable reputation. So Chris, thanks for being here, brother.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. So, and Fernando, our role player, we've already introduced her, is the one and only Hala Jaludi. And who's Hala, Fernando?
So Hala's a rock star. I can speak here light years about her character, but let's speak about what's on the list. She's also a partner at Calighi Law, heads the personal injury department, has practiced in all areas of personal injury, including automobile accidents for over 20 years. Her clients describe her as a person of integrity and compassion. And what I would like to add to that is that I've never met another human being who's as busy as Hala, who never makes you feel like she's busy. And that to me is an insane level of time and work integrity that is to be respected. And I'm so grateful that she's on our Team Thunder. She's in our ecosystem. And I'm so glad you're here role-playing Hala Jaludi.
Hala, you're also one of the 10 first-round draft picks on Team Thunder in the Unblinded Business Accelerator. Congratulations on that. I know you're rocking things out. So how are you, Hala?
I am great. Thank you. Yes, I was very honored and grateful that I was Fernando's first pick. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited to be doing this role play with all of these influencers. So I am ready to be influenced. This is what we talk about every day, Sean. This is what you're teaching. So this is super exciting. And thank you, Fernando, for that lovely introduction.
And Hala is also arguing from the New Jersey Supreme Court, successfully upholding a $17 million verdict. She's also done some incredible things in other cases as well. So thank you for being here and for all that you do. And hey, let's see what Roberto and Eli are bringing to the house, because these are people who've been studying and teaching influence, learning from the master of masters, Tony Robbins, and they are here. So let's drop in. So Roberto, are you ready to go, sir?
Ready to go. Should we create some context here for?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to create
context. All right, cool. So the idea.
Yeah. So
just create some context here. So I do a ton of videos, webinars, talks, and my sales process, I try to lead people into a consultation. So when they come in, they already have context about what I do. And usually I know the reason why they're meeting, because when they schedule a call with me, for example, to have a strategy session, I have them to put like, what's the number one reason why you want to talk to me? So
Awesome.
usually I do public speaking training. So usually it's about three things. Usually one problem is about lack of conversions. So they're doing talks, chiropractors either internally or externally, and they're not being effective. The second reason is fear. Just like many other professionals, chiropractors have a segment, have been in practice for 5, 10, 20 years, never done one talk. So there's a big percentage of population that they're afraid to speak. And the third area, or the third most common problem, is the lack of marketing. So that they want to speak, but they don't know how to put their own events together or promote an event. So basically, 99% of my sales conversations go around these three major problems, which is a lack of conversion, lack of confidence, and poor marketing.
So you know what's such an amazing coincidence, Roberto? Those are going to be the exact three challenges that Hala is facing as she's growing her division, her personal injury legal division. Does that sound like a good conversation to have with
That
Hala?
sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So where are you physically located today, Roberto?
I'm in South Carolina.
Okay. So you are closer than our dear friend and brother Eli. So Eli, I'm going to put either a 1 or a 2 under the table, and it's your call on whether there's a 1 or a 2, like a coin toss.
All right, 1.
It is a 2. So that means Roberto has won the toss. And Roberto, so that means you go either, if you go first in the first round, you keep your choice in the second round to go first or second. Or,
I can go first.
Oh, like he's like ready to roll. So let me explain the context now. So now it's a little challenging because it's a 6-minute conversation cut in half. And the halftime is where Hala's gonna have to take a quick call. She'll be like, oh, excuse me for 1 second, Roberto or Eli. I just gotta take a quick call. And then you're gonna continue later. So the first segment for Jason, for you, Chris, and for Will, is all based, the scoring is based on how authentically you create a depth of rapport. Oprah has said that she held the microphone for 30,000 people because she said authentically to people, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters. She said it with her words, her physiology, her vocal qualities, the depth of her listening, her emotional, energetic transference. And that's why she held the microphone as a multi-billionaire and has the level of influence she does in the world. So the first round is we're assessing how deep is the connection that Roberto and Eli create with Hala, and is there something that they put at stake for Hala? So in that first round. So that's the judging. It doesn't have to get to a yes, because the conversation is going to be bifurcated by a phone call. So it's just creating depth of emotional rapport, putting something at stake. And in the second round, it's how you're going to solve that and get to a yes. And the yes, Eli and Roberto, could be for anything you want. It doesn't have to be a sale. It could be a 6-minute conversation to a complimentary coaching session or training session. It could be for a book deal or speaking engagement where you're merging ecosystems with Hala. It could be for anything that you want. And you don't even have to reveal it. It's the ultimate yes you're seeking. But Hala, at least in the context of Roberto, will set up with Eli when he's ready to go. Hala has come to you and said, yeah, I'd love to have more conversions when I speak. I'd love to learn to fill the room a little bit more effectively. And yeah, those are the problems that she reached out to you, wanting to solve, Roberto.
Okay.
And be like, hello, and you take it from there. Any other questions?
No, good.
Just to clarify, am I being me or am I being a chiropractor?
Can she be a chiropractor? Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Fine. It's just because she had, by the way, you have background in chiropractor, right? So I'm going to call Dr. Holland.
Yeah, she knows chiropractic very well. She's worked with a lot of chiropractors, so she has a lot of context. Perfect. Okay. And Hala, this is somebody you should talk to, because if you're access to chiropractors, people in your group, this might be somebody you want to connect with later. So, but we'll take it from there. So we ready?
Yep.
I'm sorry, go Roberto. You were going to say something?
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Hala, so excited to finally connect with you. How's Florida? How's Miami?
Oh, Miami is wonderful. It's nice to connect with you again as well.
How long have you been living in Miami?
It's been about a little over a year.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I was working for Tony Robbins back in the day, I lived there and absolutely love it. So I noticed that you schedule a call, and your number one reason that you schedule a call, according to our notes here, is that you want to increase your conversions.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, perfect. So here's the plan today in this short call. We're going to go over some conversion strategies, some ideas for you. And in the end, I want to give some recommendations. If I can help you, I'll tell you. If I can help you, I'm going to make sure I can refer you someone in our network, because I work with a lot of other consultants to help chiropractors. Now, how long have you been a doctor?
Interrupt you though. I just want to tell you that, not to be rude, in about 2 minutes or so, I'm going to need to take a break for a phone call.
100%, 100%. So how long have you been practicing in Miami?
In Miami, it's been about a little over a year, but I've been a chiropractor for about 15.
Yeah. And what is your favorite thing about being a chiropractor?
Really interacting with my patients and just being able to help them alleviate some of their pain.
I just want to say something that I'm not a chiropractor. I'm so grateful for you. When my 2.5-year-old was born, she was born in a natural birth center, and they want to take her to the hospital, and it was 5 a.m. And I called Dr. Ryan Hum in San Diego, and he came and laid down my little baby and felt a subluxation of her atlas bone and adjust her, and like magic, she threw up the ambiotic fluid that was stuck in her lungs, and they want to take my baby to a hospital. You see, doctors like yourself change people's lives. So in the name of my wife, myself, my baby, I just want to acknowledge what you do, because I love your mission.
Thank you. And I'm glad your baby was okay. And I thank you for recognizing and acknowledging what chiropractors do, because I think a lot of people don't really have a true understanding, and sometimes they don't have as much faith as they should.
Of course. So in the context of conversions, I know some people want to convert for different reasons, some because of purpose, some because of money, some because of status. What is your reason why, when you do these talks, you want to convert people to high level? What is the driving force?
Because I really want to reach as many people as I can. I believe in what I do and the benefits of chiropractic care. And I think it's a good way of avoiding people having to over-medicate. So I'd like to have an extensive reach.
I love that. So for you, chiropractor, I'm assuming it's not a job, it's a mission. Is that correct?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I just have a few seconds left, so.
Okay, cool. Well, what I'd like to talk about is learn more about your talks, because as a chiropractor, there's many talks that you can do externally to our community and internally. So after your call, we can talk about that.
For sure. I'll come back soon. Thank you.
Excellent job, Roberto. Excellent. How did that feel for you, Roberto?
Feels good.
Yeah. I felt your heart, that the share of that story about your baby was like incredible. And what was very present for me is, regardless of English being your third language, what a great job you did. In the context of English being your third language, I was sitting here thinking, my God, like I can't even speak 2 languages, let alone a third language. And how in the heck would I ever be able to create rapport? Like, it's remarkable. So I was very present to that reality that you are a wildly skilled human being. So thank you for that presentation.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for real. So Hala, if you had to say one word and one sentence about your encounter with Roberto, what would the one word be, and then the sentence?
Heart.
Right?
Heart is the one word. It was in his heart. And the one sentence, I loved the emotion he poured out, as well as his acknowledgement.
Beautiful.
There was a lot of acknowledgement.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Roberto. Eli, how are you, sir?
Yes, I'm good. And this will be interesting for you guys. I would love the feedback. One of the things that we teach, I definitely believe that rapport is important, but it's about trust and responsiveness. And so, I love the analogy of Oprah, for example, but she sold, and became popular before the internet. when people didn't have as many options. And so I think things have changed a little bit. So you'll get an experience of how I do it. And making a strong connection initially is important, but I don't think it's the most important thing. And so perhaps you'll be open to possibly looking at the sales experience a new way.
Yeah, Eli, this is fun and exciting. This is what we're here to do. So
Awesome.
if I could just share, we talk about the 4 steps, the 10 indispensable elements, and 4 energies of influence. So I certainly don't want to leave you. I can't wait to talk to you, like, and you, Roberto, like, this is exciting and fun. So I definitely don't want to give you the misimpression that we overemphasize the creation of emotional rapport. You know, so we could talk a ton, but I do believe in as I define, like, rapport would be the opening of the listening. So the way I accentuate rapport is a disruption into default no, the opening of listening. So that's how I define it. I wouldn't define it the same way as they do in NLP, but I'm believing that what you're about to do is going to be in incredible alignment. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah. It's just as a side note, one of the books that changed the way I sold was the Challenger sale back after 2008 happened. And so, you know, we talk about the doctor frame, you know, being in this diagnosis mindset as opposed to demonstrating value or worth, diagnosing problems. So let's get into it.
I love it. So do you want Hala to be Hala or somebody who would you like Hala to be?
She can be whoever she wants, and I can sell her whatever she's needing.
Fantastic. So would you like her to just be Hala and jump in from there?
Yeah, let's do it. And I have a sales training. Do you think that she would possibly like to know how to influence people to make more money?
100%. Eli, I love your certainty. It is attractive. It is magnetic. And I'm like so intrigued. You have done what you have created a disruption, right? In the context of being congruently unique. So everybody feels curious. Like, Hala, don't you feel like congruent uniqueness of Eli, and aren't you now curious?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Eli, please take us in.
Okay.
Awesome. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, this is Eli. Is this Hala?
Yes. Hi, Eli. It's Hala.
Hey, this is a good time. Yes or no?
It is a good time, but I have to warn you, I only have about 3 minutes, and then I have to be interrupted for a phone call that I have to make, and then we can resume.
Okay. You know, a couple things there. One, just out of curiosity, we are blocking off this time, and I want to be respectful of your time, but I want to make sure that you're completely present because we are here talking about how you can make more money in your business, and that is still important to you, yes?
Yes, absolutely. It's important. And I'm sorry, this was a last minute scheduled call that I could not avoid. So I appreciate that we had the scheduled time, but I just have to interrupt for just a moment and I'll return to you.
Awesome. Usually I would ask, what's more important than you knowing how to increase your business revenue, but I'll be respectful of your time and let's jump in. Do you have pen and paper there?
I do.
Awesome. And I should probably start off by asking, have you already found a way to improve your sales, or is that something you're still looking to do?
I found some ways, but there's always room for improvement, of course.
Okay. When you say you found some ways, what are you currently doing now?
Well, trying to you know, merge ecosystems with other people, trying to get my name out there, perhaps some speaking engagements, but, you know, I do face some challenges.
Okay, you're trying and facing some challenges. The current process you have, do you like it?
I do. I just have to juggle between, you know, workload and finding the time to do that.
That's completely normal. So it sounds like things are going fairly well, possibly could be better. Just out of curiosity, what would you change about your process or your situation if you could?
I think I have to give that some thought. Just, I feel like I need to maybe spend more time on doing that, on, you know, the speaking engagements.
Okay. Spending more time, how do you mean by that?
You know, just planning better for them maybe, and, And now it's a little bit more difficult with COVID.
Of course, and that's something I just want to, be respectful of your time again, but we only have a little bit of time here. And also just to let you know how this call will work best for you. I am going to ask you some specific questions about your situation, what you're doing now, and see if there's any possible ways that I can help you. You'll be able to ask me any questions you like. And at the end of the call, if I feel like I can help you, we can talk about that process. But just to let you know, because of the state of the economy, a lot of people are shutting their doors. And so if I feel like you're not a fit, and that might be a best practice for you, but if I feel like your mindset, your commitment is strong enough, I'll definitely talk about how we can help you. Is that okay?
That's perfectly okay. So is it okay if I take this call and then I can come back and we could reconnect?
Sounds great. Looking forward.
Thank you, Eli.
Excellent, Eli. Thank you very much. And Eli, what was present for you in that round one?
Typically for me, like if somebody is not brought, I know we're doing a role play here, but if somebody can't commit this time, that's a red flag. And so just being aware of that, I would challenge that and I would rebook it, but I know that's not appropriate here. So yeah, she seemed distracted. She wasn't really clear on what she was doing. And so I'm also seeking more to disqualify than qualify. And so there's a skepticism in my tone that will either repel the wrong people or connect with the right people.
Awesome. Awesome. So thank you for that. Hala, what would you say one word and one sentence on that encounter with Eli?
Questions. I think Eli really mastered the power of questions, was very focused and zeroed in and tried to, get me to say what specifically is the challenge. And his questions were very pointed and focused. And, to me, that's a great way of, as you've taught, Sean, establishing rapport. So a lot of questions there.
Awesome. So let's drop in. Jason, would you mind sharing maybe, your 20, 30 seconds of what you thought worked for Roberto, and then 20 or 30 seconds on a growth opportunity and a score on a 10-point scale?
I think what worked really well for Roberto is the personal connection he has with the chiropractic style of care, and having such a powerful personal testimonial really allows him to connect with that other party in a way that's genuine and respectful and truly just shows his appreciation for the type of care his daughter received. I'd say the opportunity for improvement is how to work that more smoothly into the conversation. And maybe it was a result of the very short time frame he was given, but it seemed a little choppy to get into it and out of it. And perhaps that's part of a longer conversation that's maybe a bit more smoothly worked in and out of when he has that time. But that would be the one minor opportunity I think that for improvement.
Cool. And what'd you have for a score, Jason?
I say an 8.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And how about for Roberto?
Or for Eli? Switch to Eli?
I'm sorry, for Eli, yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So what I appreciated about Eli was he really wanted to get on the same page with Hala right from the start. Why are we here? What do we want to accomplish? Is what he provides aligned with what Hala is even looking for? So I thought that was a very effective way to make sure that both parties' time is being used appropriately. And then the one small opportunity for improvement, I think, would be the number of times he went back to the short amount of time. And I could tell that threw his game off a bit to be so limited in time. 3 or 4 times he mentioned, I know we're short on time. I would rather do this if we had more time. So that's just a function of, I think, the rules of engagement for today.
Awesome. And a score?
I'd say a 9 on for Eli.
All right, Jason, thank you. Will, what do you have for Roberto? And then we'll drop in on Eli.
Thanks, Sean. Boy, I tell you couldn't find 2 better contrasting styles, in my opinion. Realize that what I'm going to say to you is based on my observation and not necessarily so much criticism. But I felt in Roberto's case that there was an immediate desire to establish rapport and connection. And I felt that by creating a story, of his own personal experience, it automatically drew Hala in to wanting to hear more and wanting to learn more. In other words, it became more about Hala. And that connection is very, very important, especially in a sales call. In Roberto's case, I would say that was, for me, a solid 9. And I really think it's going to be interesting to see where things go in the second half.
Awesome.
From Eli's standpoint, man, Eli, I love your certainty. I really love your flair. However, when I saw the connection that you made with Hala, my first impression was, hey, is this about you or is this about me? And it's very obviously about me, so you better pay attention, because if you follow me and you do what I do, then you'll be successful, and if you don't waste my time. And I get that sales approach, and I get that tact that you take. It works very, very well with the right people, and I think very poorly with other people. It's going to be interesting to see how Hala responds to that sales approach. But I think as an audience member, automatically, within the first 30 seconds, it became very salesy to me, and I was turned off.
Okay.
Just an observation, not an indictment.
And so what did you have for a score, Will?
I had him at a 6.
Interesting. Yeah. And that's what the fun of the Real Raw is, right? There's such varying perspectives and dynamics. So thank you for that, Will. Chris Cavalli, what do you have, brother?
So for Roberto, at first I thought he was kind of going right into the sales pitch a little bit, but then right away he got to the emotional rapport building. I thought that he was honest in saying that I'll either help you or find someone who can't if I can't. I loved the way he asked what Hala's favorite thing about being a chiropractor was, and I absolutely, like, as you would say, Sean, drop the mic, the story about the baby created such fantastic emotional rapport, and his respect for chiropractors, and that could only make a chiropractor feel really good. I also liked how he got into Hala's why and asked her why she did that. So I thought all around, Roberto was really good, and I give him a 9.
Excellent. And for Eli?
For Eli, I think that his biggest flaw was not doing what Roberto did and going right into the sales pitch. I don't really like calling it that, but right into the business before or without really developing the emotional rapport. However, his confidence is ultra high. He's quite engaging and super smooth. So those things almost made up for it a little bit. He asked really good questions, I thought. And I liked his honesty too, where he said, hey, this may not work. And if it doesn't work, then I'm not the right fit. So I liked it. I just wish I would have seen more emotional rapport building from the start, and I give him an 8.
Outstanding. All right. So thank you, judges. Beautiful job. I have some of my own thoughts, but I want to put in context because these are two geniuses, Roberto and Eli, in their space and mastery. So I'm going to hold my comments and thoughts until after this round, which I don't typically do, because I have a feeling Eli's got some dynamics to come that are going to be quite interesting. And same for Roberto. So I'm going to hold some of the assessment from my perspective. And so, yeah, it's like round 2. Roberto, you went first in round 1. So you retain the choice in round 2. Would you like to go first or second in the second round?
Ready to go.
All right. So, and in this second round, the assessment's really going to be on how you move from here to yes with integrity. And that's sharing the identity heroically of your products or services. Other people might call it the USP. We think words vibrate with energy, not only for us as we influence ourselves, but also other people with integrity. So call it what you want, but this is your presentation of how you solve Hala's pain and challenges and move to the yes that you're seeking. Does that sound good, Roberto?
Yeah.
Awesome. Take us in, brother. 3 minutes.
So Dr. Hala, so let's figure out how we're going to transform the health in your community. I'm curious, how many talks are you giving every month in your community?
Quite honestly, they're not even, on a regular basis.
Oh, they're not?
They're not.
Okay.
And Roberto, thank you so much for your patience. And I just want to tell you, and I normally don't do this, but I have a patient who's in severe spasm. So I'm under strict limited time. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. So if you had the magic wand and say, Roberto, here's the number of talks that would you like to have, and here's the conversion that you like to have in each talk. Can you give me a ballpark number of talks and conversions per talk?
Sure. I mean, I would like, at least in my community, to do maybe 2 to 3 talks per month.
Okay.
And see at least, anywhere between 15 to 25 conversions or.
Okay. I'm curious, what is the average care in your office for 3 months?
What is the average what?
Care, patient care.
Patient care for 3 months? You're talking dollars and cents?
Yeah, dollars, yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're coming in for a patient 3 times a week, it could be for 3 months, you're talking maybe anywhere between 7 to 10,000.
Wow. So we are talking about in the minimum 2 talks a month, 15 people. Let's call 20 times 7, 140 times 2. So we're talking about over $200,000 in revenue a month, plus all the lives and the families you're going to impact.
No, yes, but let me make it clear. I'd like to see at least people calling in. They don't have to necessarily convert into a patient, but at least some traction from those talks.
Okay, perfect. What if you could get half of the number? Let's call it 10 patients extra a month, $70,000 a month. Would that be beneficial for your office?
That would be thrilling.
So one of my clients is Dr. John Gee out of Michigan. And the reason I tell you this story is because I work with him. And for exactly 3 years, he does 2 talks a month. And conversions have never been below 80%. And I would love to give the same opportunity, the same ideas, the same strategies to you. And all you have to do is to come to our class. We have a 3-day class called Influencing from the Front, where specifically you're going to discover 1, how to speak with confidence, 2, how to develop a presentation that's unique to you, to your story, to your values, 3, how to convert at higher level, not only in your external talks, but in your internal talks as well. Okay. How does that sound?
It sounds good. I only have about less than a minute left. That sounds good. I'd just like to know what the obligations is for that, and
if it's not right, if it's not right for you, don't have to pay, because you're the only company in America who offers 110% money back guarantee. And after doing this class for 11 years, nobody ever got their money back. So the investment is $1,500. I can send you the link today. And then the next class is in Atlanta.
As long as I can get that in writing, that it's, money back guarantee, I'm in.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Outstanding job. So Roberto, how did that feel for you?
Feels good. I had in the back of my mind 3 minutes. I'm like, but it's good. It's good to change the context and become uncomfortable. Definitely, we don't have the time clock. Usually you have a longer time, but that's for everybody. So I felt good. I know I had a story plan to tell, but then I'm like, 3 minutes. So anyway, thank you. Dr. Hala, thanks so much for
thank you so much, Roberto.
Role playing. Appreciate that.
Hala, 1 word, 1 sentence on that encounter.
Sure. 1 word, outcome. He was focused, and the sentence is, he framed it and led me down with the questions exactly what is your measurement? What are you measuring? And what's the conversion you're looking for? And just focused all of that energy there. So I think he did a good job with that.
Yeah. And on the positive, I saw, these are professionals, right? Roberto and Eli, without a doubt, masters. And he did such a beautiful job of creating comparative framework for the amount of revenue it's going to generate, putting something very meaningful at stake to create contrast in the economics of what was at play. So I really like that, very clearly. So really nice work, Roberto. And
Yep.
Eli, are you ready, sir?
Yeah, and I should probably start off by asking, where would you like me to go? So I mentioned this before the call. I essentially have like 6 parts to my conversation. It's like the opening, this discover your 10 clarity phase. And so I've got really specific things that we train on, but you let me know how much time do I have, and will there be a third part, or are we, like Roberto did, are we looking to get the sale here?
Sure, this is the second part. I would do, let's go with this scenario. Let's say, who would be, for you, Eli, the ultimate dream client scenario? Is there a dream? Like you have incredible certainty. Here's what I'm hearing from you. You have super certainty. You work with world-class people, and your structure is your structure. And like you're rocking and rolling, and you have built an amazing and incredible business. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I think I'm hearing you. That's level 5,
Yes.
right? So would you ever, is there anybody in the face of the earth that, and we could set the scenario up, that if they said, hey, listen, we had 6 minutes, you've already done the 3 minutes, we have 3 more minutes, that's it. Is there anybody that you would step into that framework with, accept that paradigm, and say, you know what, this would be worth compromising my structure because this person, who would,
definitely.
would
So
there
I'll take
be,
you through it, but my question is, am I closing the sale here, or will there be a third part?
well, you could set that up for the future. So you could simply reach an agreement. We use the language of reach an agreement in our language, right? So to work together and exchange money, or to simply have more time at a separate time. So it's whatever you'd like to get to a yes. It could be, hey, have I earned the right rock star, if it's a rock star, whomever, to have an hour? So can I get to an hour now that I would invest a little bit more time in you because of who you are, I would never do this. Would that be a fun scenario? I want to make it fun for you. And
yeah, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. I'll jump right in.
Is there somebody that would pop into your mind that you would feel free, like comfortable saying a name that is not somebody you work with, that you'd say, yeah, for that person, yeah, I dive in for 3 minutes to buy an hour, to see if they would be willing to invest an hour. Is that a name you would share, or you'd rather not?
There's always that person. You know who it is?
Who?
It's the person that's in front of me.
Beautiful. Done. I love this man. All right. Amazing. So yeah, then you had your first 3 minutes, and let's keep going.
Hala, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. And thank you so much for your patience, Eli. And I really have to apologize because I'm still under limited time. Life of an attorney, I have a call to a judge in about another 3 minutes. I'm sorry.
Well, let me just start off by saying I appreciate you taking this time. Let's make it valuable, shall we?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So just to recap, in our last call, you had said that you have a sales process, but you were trying to do some things and you think that it could potentially be better. Is that right?
Yes. I don't know that I put it into a process, but let's just say my goal is to try and get out there it's not a definitive process. I'd like to hear what you can do.
Awesome. And this non-definitive process that you have, how's that been performing for you? If you can kind of give me a ballpark, what are those sales numbers?
Well, this process that now I'm employing, I have really great expectations, which involves like ecosystem mergers and, public speaking. I haven't started full force because again of COVID. So I haven't been really measuring and monitoring it accurately.
Okay. So before you started having this conversation with me today, were you actively out there looking for a way to increase your sales?
Sure. A more creative way, especially during this time period. Yeah.
Okay. And how's that been working out for you?
Not as fast as I would like.
Okay. And what do you think's been keeping you from having the success that you're looking for with that current program?
I don't think it's the program. I think it's just It's just sometimes finding the level of self-mastery to kind of focus all energy on that and balance that with the workload. That's all.
Okay. And so just to help me understand your situation, you're looking for something that fits into your ideal lifestyle with workflow and as busy as you are. Is that right?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you were to find a process that could match what you're looking for with your busy schedule, and it really felt aligned for you, when would you potentially want to begin that process?
Immediately.
Okay, well, hold on. Well, why is that important to you now, though?
Because I think this is a very important time to grow, because, you know, it's a time to change because of the situation where we're all, you know, quarantined. And I think this is the time to act. Yeah.
I agree. And this may sound like a crazy question, but I always have to ask, why not just stay where you're at? I mean, why not just continue doing the way you've been doing it?
Well, this sounds cliche, but like, you know, grow or perish, right? It's
Okay, so I guess growth is important to you, yes?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So
And I'm sorry, I have
more
about,
questions.
like, 30 seconds left. I'm sorry.
Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you feel like I should know about your situation?
No, I'd really like to know about what you offer.
I'd love to. I do have a bit of a process. There's actually 4 phases of it, and I'd love to take the time to explain each one to you to make sure they're fully aligned so you feel comfortable no matter what your decision is. Would that be okay if we blocked off a little more time?
Yeah, maybe in a few days, because now I really have to go.
Okay. Would you like me to send you a calendar link?
Sure.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Thank you.
All right, very nice work, Eli. And very nice. How was that for you? I know it's abridged. I know it's different than what you typically experience, but what comes up for you in your encounter with Hala?
You know, it's one of the things that we always want to do is get a clear reason why they're there. And one of the things that we teach is client quantifies value for you. So I'll typically break down some math, what that would mean to them with their current situation. And so I can get a gap, because we're always looking for that gap. So she wasn't really clear with where she was, and I didn't want to push it too hard, especially in the time frame. So I sought more to make a connection and make her feel comfortable, so I could potentially, and I use neutral language so that I could open up the possibility of another conversation, and really, as I go through the transition, give her feedback on what her gap is and why she feels she has it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. So yeah, let's drop in with our judges and maybe start with Will this round. So Will, what do you got, sir? Starting with Roberto.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for doing this. It's kind of like watching Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson play on Sunday. 2 incredible masters with varying styles that really made the competition incredibly intense and fun to watch. Roberto's style is very much a flowing, and it's very much niched down to chiropractic, to the point where rapport is a whole lot easier. The connection that he made continued in that second round, and I felt that he was ready to make the sale. At the end, though, I felt like the sale was almost lost. And maybe that was a time limitation, but you could definitely feel like right at the end is where he kind of went into panic mode. And again, I call that the time limitation. It's not a normal sales situation. Man, Eli, great rebound in that second half. You could see that your focus was a lot better and really intent on developing that connection with Hala. And I really felt like you were just one step away from that cliffhanger that would make her say, instead of calling you back in a couple days, you know, one phrase, one something that would have had her calling back in an hour rather than in a couple days. So I think, again, the 3-minute time limit kind of threw you guys off your game, but my gosh, kudos to both of you. I learned so much personally as a judge in this, that I hope the audience is learning as well. you guys are playing at a level, both of you are playing at a level 10. I mean, you are master salesmen, incredible, thoughtful, gifted. I'm writing like 4 pages of notes going, this is brilliant. How do I apply this in my own business and in my own life? So thank you both. 9s for both of you. Had you made the sale in 3 minutes, I think you both would have hit a 10.
Oh, awesome. Great feedback, Will. Yeah. So Eli, could we drop in on something? Because I am so curious of your feedback on this. Will this be?
Yeah. And I'm like so hungry to hear from you. I've heard so many amazing things. You know, I've got a process, a structure, and I think I really do believe, and you know, obviously Tony taught me this, that there's these, as Roberto talked about too, Tony calls them 4 levels of leadership. I call them influence, and Roberto's got a few, but there's, at the first level, there's how you influence yourself. And so there's this clarity and certainty you have with your own life, and then you transfer that feeling to somebody else. And based on the research we've done, people that are heavy on rapport and put the focus on them and their own stories, they actually do less based on data. And so that's why we talk, and we have a framework to provide the salesperson with certainty. And I'll send this to you, but I would love for you to beat it up.
No, I don't want to beat up. Can I ask this question?
Please.
For you, what drove you to study this concept of influence at such depth?
You know, obviously, you know, I lived with Scott Humphrey and Jarek, you know, Tony's son, and just seeing that feedback. And Tony, whoever's the biggest impact in Tony's companies now, gets an award. You created my name. So he took me to Fiji and stuff, and just so many conversations. And Tony's giving me feedback. We went to, like, you know, went to Vegas, did that fight training with the guy Tim and all that stuff, the Navy SEAL guy. And he's just giving me all these insights and what he transferred into me based on his standard, his state, how he showed up, the stories that he implanted within himself and other people, and the strategies, like, you know, those 4 S's, and how he's able to communicate that so powerfully. I had an experience, and when I show up with people, I think for myself, the experiences, because information doesn't change our lives. Yeah. I believe experiences do, and he provided for me for an experience. And those experiences that have had the biggest impact on your life, my life, some of them, there's been some pleasure and some pain. There's been a gap. And to create that in a context, in a conversation, a powerful, meaning conversation, you know, we always ask this, and this was in the script, does a good coach tell you what you want to hear or what you need to hear? And I believe in a sales conversation, we do a little bit of coaching, not on what to do, but we coach people on how to think and how to make decisions that are in alignment with the person they want to be, not where they are. And Tony's provided for that me consistently in my life. And so I speak and act as somebody who's really been at that level, certain, loving, empathetic. I know my loving, empathetic didn't come off too much here, but it's really about getting people in a state where their focus is on the pain, their focus is on what's possible. The meaning they have about the conversation, this moment, has really shifted them to be in a physiology, or what we call a buying state. And so we've taken a lot of that into this conversation. Also, Roberto knows this too. Outside of him, I always did really well. Roberto did the best, but I just super competitive. And, you know, I just love sports. I love winning. I love being engaged. I love being challenged. And this game, like, I'm never going to go, you know, play professional soccer or anything like that. This has become my game. This is my sport. And so I train at it every single day. And I just want to be as best as I can and influence as many people to live really empowered lives.
Extraordinary. So Eli, can we agree on this? I'm hearing your passion, your clarity, your focus, your energy. Tony Robbins is at least objectively, arguably, the greatest person of influence.
He's the best. He's the best. Yeah. He's the best.
Right?
Yeah.
So how does it feel that in his world, his ecosystem, you have an award named after you? Like, how does that feel for you?
Awesome. Yeah, I think Tony, I don't think I'd be alive today if it wasn't for Tony. You know, Roberto has a big part of that as well. Making sure I didn't get fired or anything because I sucked at first. And so, you know, just to be part of something is amazing. And the story was I was really sick, and it's mainly because of my relationship with Scott. He connected with Bonnie and Tony a lot, and they mentored me back in 2010. So yeah, really, really good. Tony personally challenged me a lot, and that mentorship forced me to grow. So
I'm not only hearing your love for them, but I'm hearing you with your certainty step into like depth of humility. Because like, yeah, you're a part of something larger than yourself, but you succeeded and won there at an extraordinary level to have an award named after you. So really, because I don't think I heard it yet, how does that feel for you?
Pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm super grateful, super humbled. gives my life meaning.
Extraordinary. And like, why do you keep doing this? Like, if you, Eli, had it like all your way, everything your way, like, what's your ultimate vision with your life's work?
You know, we teach these 4 levels of influence, and the first is just empowering yourself, and then it's taking what's inside of you, making sure that's clear, focused, you have a mission on your heart. So it's like self-development, and then transferring that to another person. And then just like Roberto, level 3 influence is one to many, and then level 4 influence is when we're not even there, like Martin Luther King, Steve Jobs. And so after I'm gone, just like the culture, what's been inside of me, the mission that's on my heart, transfer into many people as possible, so that that ripple effect can have a positive change in the world. And I changed my name from Eli Wilde, which is my real name, because I was kind of hiding behind Tony, and I still love Tony, but to be wildly influential and have people authentically express what's on their heart and be wildly influential by powerfully speaking about who they are and what, you know, helping them get clarity on that. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that your desire is to have your work remembered, not only the influence of Tony, but your work remembered long after you're gone, because you have people being influenced by it and taking that work forward to others. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, but also the level 4 influence, it's not just this thing about legacy and death. Also, in a business, making sure that your presence is felt after you're gone means that you can take a vacation and your company doesn't fall apart. You can sell the company, and the ethos of the organization is still there. So it's not just that, but to make sure that there's, you know, really thinking, as, you know, Tony would say, working on your business, not just in it, but to have these multiple plates spinning and really having systems and processes that allow you to really objectively look at your life, your business, situations, conversations in a way that is systematically measurable, transformative across all companies.
And that's not only a gift that you're giving to others, but something that you're enjoying for yourself. So, and the impact and the acknowledgement you've received is incredible. Any challenges for Eli and like achieving that mission for you? Any challenges that are out there?
You know, right now, I mean, I've always, and Tony used to always say this, like, a lot of these marketers out there, they're really good at marketing, how they help people, not so good at helping people.
Right.
And so for the last 15 years, I've been really into this game, like wanting to get better and better. And I tell people this all the time. If you hang out with Tony Robbins a lot, like Michael Jordan, super confident. I say if he hung out with Tony Robbins every day, he would get massively insecure. Tony is just that good. And so naturally, one of the challenges in putting my stuff out there more is comparing myself to Tony, feeling like I need to be that good before I sell anything. Like, why not just send people to Tony? But, you know, Tony is doing less events, and I really feel like now I've got some experience and some structure. Tony doesn't want to teach sales. And so this is just an opportunity for me to help people with the one part of their business that actually generates them money.
Yeah.
And so this has been my thing. And so I feel like it's really good. The challenges with that, I think a lot of comparison or, you know, driving so much, but I tell you, the last couple months I've been putting my own program out there, and the success has been massive. Like, I'm humbled every day. One of my students today just quit her job so that she could just focus on her own program. So we help people design their offers and how to market it, and then how to pull the dominant buying motive, the thing that got them on the call, into the structure of the offer stage, which is stage 4, and then tie it all together, and then it's all measured. So we've got quite a system here, and it's working. So I feel good.
Extraordinary. And so no challenges, locked in, dialed in, everything on track.
You know, right now we're juggling all the marketing and the messaging, and I'm not a marketer. And so I've decided just to outsource that stuff. So it's been a challenge up till yesterday, Monday, but we just hired a marketing firm that's going to do the copywriting, go through all my videos, rewrite things in my own voice. And I'm sure they're going to screw some things up. So there's potential challenges, but I'm going to manage my own state and my own decision and really focus on leadership and control the best that I can. So yes, there's lots of challenges, ones I don't even know about yet, but I'm excited for them.
Yeah. So Eli, what I'm hearing from you is once you're in front of somebody, you have an extraordinary potential to support them in accelerating their influencing skill set, having their presence felt in their business, like not only when they're there, but when they're gone, influence themselves. But what's present for you is to create the most frictionless process and the greatest money, time, and energy efficiency in creating the highest quality of quantity sales meetings for yourself. Is that fair?
That is, yeah.
Okay. That's my first 2 steps. How am I doing?
That's great. Yeah, it's the feedback transition stage, and you were getting really clear on my situation and what the challenges were. And I said I didn't have a challenge, and you eloquently got me to talk about a gap, like my present situation and where my future is. And so there's potentially something that's in the way. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So listen, for steps 3 and 4, for the sake of everybody's time, I'm not going to go through that. We could just, I would love to talk because it's amazing what you're doing. And we're outstanding and incredible at generating relationships with people. And my dynamic of ecosystem merging, which is a story for a different day, but your skill sets, as well as Roberto's, are remarkable. And I think there's plenty of incredible things we can do together. So I'll pause there for the sake of time, but I also want to have a little bit of fun and step into the sales process without saying I was in the sales process. So did that feel authentic and real for you?
Yeah. And then it was like the second or third time I could see kind of what you were doing. And I loved it. And, just to get clear, okay, what's present for me. And when we explain our own situation, nobody can argue, well, my experience has been. And so, it's very tactful what you did. And I felt connected. It felt authentic. You were present with me, aligned, and you got me talking, which took, one of the things we teach is for, as soon as we can, getting the focus off of us and onto the person and their problems and why they're there, explaining their situation. And as people talk enough, they start to doubt themselves. From Tony's, like, he's got the triad. So there's essentially 2 triads, 2 habitual patterns of focus, language, meaning, and physiology. And when 2 people meet, the words are obviously very important, but there's stimulus response. And so somebody might say, I got to think about it or be resistant. I can give somebody the exact language of what to say back to the other person's triad. But the words, if they have fear, if there's a tightness or an anger or a frustration in the voice, they respond back not to the words, but to the emotion, the energy in motion. And so they're pinging emotion. And so I want to create a context and a frame, morality frame, time frame, framing the call, us versus them, old versus new. I did that with you at the beginning. Oprah, have things changed? Would you think things have changed in how we sell? I said that to Tony when I talked to him. I said, yeah, your program was great back in the 80s, but you tell me, internet and social media, you tell me, do you think that things have changed as far as how people sell today? He says, yeah. Well, what makes you say that? And so, and so we're framing people all the time. There's us versus them, old versus new. I say, yeah, all these marketers out there just taking advantage. That's why I love talking to people like you. I mean, we get it. Yeah. And so there's all these frames and we teach that, and it's all built into the structure.
Well, brother, I love it. And just for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to we're over time. I'd love to talk more with you and Roberto.
Likewise.
And please note, so when I say rapport, I have a different meaning, that in our entire encounter, I didn't say the word I, right? So when we took off, the word I never came in. So my emotional rapport building model never has the word I in it. So, and I'd love to, dude, I could talk, like, we live this. It's amazing. I'm so thankful to Scott, Lorelei. These are people that have impacted my life. And of course, Tony, forget it. I mean, Tony changed my life. I mean, I could never repay him 1,000 lifetimes. So thank you for being here.
Same.
And Jason, thanks for your patience, brother. How's today been for you? And what do you have in terms of your analysis?
Yeah, it's been really fun to see contrasting styles play out towards their own goals. And so for Roberto, I think it's a 9 for him because he got to that opportunity to invite Hala to his event and was able to quickly offer a response to her one objection, which around cost and guarantee. And so to have that 100%, 110% guarantee in place, it's like, really, what do you have to lose to take him up on that offer? And so that was a 9 for me to get to that offer and that opportunity for her to visit. And then for Eli, a 9 as well. I liked how he reframed the second half of that conversation to build upon a future conversation where he could take the time and walk Hala through his true process, rather than accepting the constraint and trying to squeeze his entire framework into the constraint. He turned the constraint around and said, what is it that I can accomplish in this time frame, in this very short time frame, and was able to get a yes for a time in the future when they could visit in more in depth. And I appreciate the fact that he used that time to ask more questions, to get her to think about her situation. What are her desired outcomes and expectations of another call?
Extraordinary. Thank you. And Jason, if somebody said to you, hey, would you come, I'm sorry, in score-wise, I just want to make sure we have that.
9 as well. I think, 9 for both of them on that round.
Thank you. If somebody said, hey, come on this real raw thing and be a judge, what would you say?
I'd say they absolutely need to do it. It's a lot of fun. It's incredible to see kind of a peek behind the curtain and see things happen in real time with some real constraints. And yeah, there's just nothing like seeing it done as compared to reading about it or have someone tell you what's going to happen. It's awesome to see it happen.
And Jason, thank you. And for your work in the world, who's your ideal client and how might somebody find you?
My ideal client are entrepreneurs that are first generation wealth builders. They can find us at carringtonfo.com, stands for family office. So we offer family office services to entrepreneurs that traditionally haven't had access to them due to limitations on either net worth or liquid net worth, and are helping folks that are still in the accumulation and building phase of entrepreneurship access the expertise that they need along the way.
Is there any like base level economically where you guys somebody would be the beginning level of a conversation with you guys, or there's no threshold?
The businesses that they're operating typically have a minimum top line revenue of 3 million and then up to about 50 million. And so their top line revenues between 3 and 50 million. We find that below that, it's difficult to execute the strategies that we want to provide to them. And above 50 million, we find that there are actually better solutions than what we provide to managing that level of wealth and complexity.
Well, Jason, thank you very much, brother. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. And Chris Cavalli, what do you got, brother?
Right. So for Roberto, I thought that the beginning when he was asking Hala about money and numbers was a bit awkward, but then it got much better real quick when he started explaining the value of his program and giving conversion rate actual numbers, success numbers from his clients. I thought it was really good when he specifically pointed to the doctor client that he has and referred to that doctor's conversion rate. So I really like that. Where I think he could improve, probably both Roberto and Eli. And again, I always say this with the biggest caveat of 3 minutes is like almost impossible. Like I can't even imagine when I've been doing a lot of consultations now by phone. If they only lasted 3 minutes, they're probably not going that well. But under these circumstances, they were both great. But I thought both of them could have conveyed their unique identity a little bit better and came across to Hala with, why Hala should be using them. But I gave Roberto an 8.5 for that round. Eli was really good. I think it was a step up from the last round. I like that he appreciated the limited time and Hala giving him the call. I like that he said, let's make this 3 minutes productive. He asked really good questions. I love that he said, well, when, if I'm the right fit, when do you want to start? And she said immediately. I really liked, he said, why don't you just continue what you're doing? Which kind of elicited a little bit of a pain, right? Because obviously she probably wouldn't be on the phone with him if she was perfectly content with what she was doing. And I really liked the way he ended the call by saying, let's set something up and I'll send you a link. So again, with Roberto, in 3 minutes, pretty hard too, but I would have liked to see maybe a little unique identity conveyance, but I gave Eli a 9.
Beautiful. And Chris, do you know who I think Eli is? Here's who I think Eli is. Hey, listen, so thank you. I hear your challenges, acknowledging them, in detail. And I know we only have about 30 seconds left, but the simplest way to say to you, Chris, that it would be worth you spending an hour of your time is at one point I couldn't sell. And in fact, my life was at risk because of the depths of challenge I was facing emotionally. And I found a way to not only turn how I felt about myself and my life around, but I discovered the superpower of influence. And I was working with this incredible organization, arguably the top influential person in the world, a gentleman by the name of Tony Robbins. You may have heard of him. And here's the thing I'm most proud of and can most succinctly demonstrate my ability to sell and influence is in this organization, which thousands of people have sold. There's an award there named after me for the top salespeople. So with that backdrop, Chris, would it be worth it to spend an hour of your time? I only give you 3 minutes, an hour of your time talking to me about how we can create that transformation for you so you can create more money in less time with more magic in your life. What do you say?
Yeah, that would certainly make me that much more intrigued.
Yeah, so that's who Eli is. Will, what say you? How did you like the dynamics that I was demonstrating and your experience on the railroad?
Sean, I'll tell you, thanks again for inviting me to this. This experience was definitely eye-opening, and again, to see two characters and the way that they approach things was really, really beneficial to me and hopefully my business as well.
Awesome. And what did you think about some of the way we were building rapport with Eli and how I just shared who Eli was?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you're talking about the epitome of sales. You're talking about a person who has amazing credentials and someone that I definitely want to emulate. Same thing too, though, with Roberto. My gosh.
Oh yeah.
But ultimately, the ultimate hero, the guy that I want to be every day, is Sean Callaghan.
No. Stop, brother. Thank you for that.
Well, except for the haircut.
Well, yeah, you got to help me with this spot. We have all kinds of problems right now. So Roberto, thank you, Will. Roberto, you are remarkable, brother, and I am incredibly grateful. Your precision, intention, expertise, mastery of your sales process was inspirational to all that will watch this. You're disciplined, you're focused, and you just did a great job. And if somebody wanted to come on, was like, hey, should I do this or not? Like, how was your experience on the railroad?
Oh, so fun. I love the limitations that you guys created, the 3 minutes break, 3 minutes, because I don't think any salesperson is used to that context. And it's not like you told us before, hey, that's going to go down. We didn't know. So we have to adjust and customize and change things. So I love it. I truly love it. Super grateful to be here with everybody, all the powerhouses here in this in the call here today. So awesome to see my I don't know if you know this, Sean, but Eli was on my wedding. You know,
that's amazing.
It was amazing. And when I knew he was doing this, I'm like, oh man, I love the guy. Probably he's the most focused guy I ever met in my career. Talk about focus, and if you tell him, hey man, spend 48 hours I was sleeping, just learn this, he'll do it. So it was super fun to just spend time with everybody with him.
Extraordinary. And thank you for that, Roberto. And have a beautiful day, brother. And finally, Eli, how was this experience for you?
It's awesome. And I love feedback. I'm like a glutton for punishment. And I love attention. So I love having eyes on me. So that only child thing, but really seeing some things within myself. And I appreciate everybody saying I came off certain, having the 3 minute thing and all that. Like inside I was a little bit like, and so I had to manage my own state and my own focus. So I love being in it. This is really great to be, getting feedback from such a powerful peer group. Really, really awesome. I'll definitely recommend people watch this and be a part.
Oh, well, thank you, brother. And listen, to everybody, immense gratitude. Influence is a superpower. We're co-creating, it's unlocking for influencers to influence influencers, to merge ecosystems, to make the world an even greater place. That's what it's all about. Thank you for being here on this beautiful Trajectory Tuesday. Have a great day. Thanks.